Hey everyone, welcome to the 2020 Multicultural Dining Web Series. My name is Arnold Yescas, your host and owner of Underground Flavor Group. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our original series due to COVID-19, so we decided to bring the events to you virtually. Our goal is to showcase the hidden talent in our communities and the beautiful culture and food that comes along with it. With that being said, for our first stop, we head to India with Chef Venky. Chef Venky has experience in some high-end establishments in Mumbai, Toronto, Kitchener-Waterloo, and is currently the sous chef at Tapestry Hall. And today, Chef Venky is going to be whipping up a beautiful, authentic dish for us. So without saying any more, let's hop in the kitchen and hang out with Chef Venky. Hi, Chef Venky. Welcome to the Marketplace Kitchen. It's such a pleasure to have you here representing India. I'm really looking forward to seeing your food from start to end. And of course, I'm here to help with anything you need. Would you like to explain to our viewers just about what your dish is today?
So what we're doing today is we're cooking a staple that's cooked in every Indian household. Basically, it's dal rice, which is a rice and lentil dish. We have accompaniment, which is a cucumber raita, but we're going to do it in a different way. And we have a yogurt, which we're going to flavor with different spices. Add the cucumber to it, and we're going to do a potato vegetable that's actually a spice vegetable, which is more as an accompaniment with the main meal. So that's what we're going to do here today.
Amazing. All right, so what are some of the steps that we're going to be taking for today's dish?
Chef, we're going to make today is we're going to soak the rice. So this one is a Sona Masuri rice. There is different varieties of rice, but this one is more water absorption. So you can, even if you wash it or you cook it for a longer time, it's not going to turn into mush. So you're going to wash this rice at least thrice and then soak it in warm water for at least 20 minutes. The second step we're going to do is wash the yellow lentil. So this is moong lentil. It's washed. So you get two different varieties, one which is washed, one which is unwashed. So this is a washed variety. So you want to wash this at least twice and soak it in warm water for 20 minutes, and then you're going to pressure cook it.
Perfect.
Then we have potatoes here. We're going to peel them, cube them up, salt, water, turmeric, and boil till it's al dente. Cucumber, we're going to peel the skin, grate it, salt it, and leave it so that you can ooze out all the water, and then we're going to squeeze all the water out. Tomatoes, we're going to chop it. Shallots, we're going to chop it. I have some curry. I have the red chili powder here. I have asafoetida, which is more like a digestive. Turmeric. And some whole red chili.
So you definitely have lots of spices and aromatics that's going to be going into this dish. Would you say that's a big staple in Indian cooking, is a handful of spices and aromatics like what you have here?
Like the spices, we are not using much spices. Spices would be turmeric and red chili powder, but these are all flavorings.
Okay.
So tempering is one of the primary stuff that Indian cooking does, whether it's south, north, or the middle part of India. Tempering is what turns the flavors upside down. So we're going to temper it with cumin, we're going to temper it with mustard, using some green chilies, some curry leaf, and also some brown sugar.
Amazing. So what's the first step that we're going to do here? We're going to wash the lentils and the rice?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Whatever you need me to do, just let me know, just to make the process easier. Like I said, I could peel the potatoes, cut them up for you, do the cucumber.
Strain the yogurt. This is a Greek yogurt, which is thick enough, but we want no liquid for our raita. So we're going to just strain it and then leave it for 15 minutes.
So Chef Venky has me doing a medium dice on these Roma tomatoes. I think he's going to be putting them in the pressure cooker there. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this is all going and to be a part of this mise en place that he has going here.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pressure cook the lentils that we have washed here. We're going to pressure cook it today. So this one is a pressure cooker. So what pressure cooker does is it cooks the ingredients pretty quick. Since the pressure is way too high in this, it allows the proteins to break down pretty easily. So whether it's meat or you're cooking a piece of beef, like doing like some stewed beef, some stewed lamb, any lentils, because this lentil will take a long time to cook if you just do it on the stove top. So this is a recommended option. But again, it's an option. If you have it at home, it's a good thing to use. it keeps the nutrient value intact, cooks faster, and there is less damage to the ingredient as well, because since it's pressurized, it tries to dissolve very quick. So we're going to use this. We're going to use any regular oil, canola oil, any kind of oils you have. Not mustard oil, no olive oil, because the smoke points are different. We're going to use a neutral oil, which is canola. Only like 2 tablespoons. I've got some cumin. So this one is a little bit longer cumin. So now the cumin that you get normally might be like a bit smaller. These are longer cumins, if you can see it. We're going to add a bit, that's the tablespoon up. We'll add some onions. You're going to add a bit salt, so it takes the moisture out from the onions. You can see that. You're going to add a bit of ginger garlic paste. A bit of turmeric. Cook the turmeric out. You can see. And now I'm going to add the tomatoes. Flame too high and just let the tomato get down a little bit, reduce the water, and then we're going to add the lentils. So this lentil has been soaking for at least 20 minutes from now in hot water. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain it out, not completely, just to take out enough water, and then we're going to add this to our pressure cooker that's been cooking tomatoes for a bit. So as you can see, I strained the water out, and then I'm going to dump this. So here we see it's been soaking. You see the lentil has absorbed a bit water and it's swelled a little bit, and that's what we want. The best thing is to either soak it at least 2 hours prior to cooking. You can soak it overnight, but only the mung dal, that's the yellow lentil. But apart from the other lentil, every lentil has different soaking times. So this one I normally soak it overnight if I want to cook it in the morning. So when I cook it in the pressure cooker, I need only 2 steams, 2 whistles to break it down. Asafoetida, which is a main ingredient, it helps in not forming any gases in our stomach. Since you know lentil is a bit heavy on your tummy, it makes you bloated. So this will take that thing out. It also helps in reducing blood pressure. It also is good for asthma as well. And there are numerous benefits of this. If you have a tummy ache, you can have this with hot water. So there are different benefits for it. Water to just cover the lentils. So this much water should be enough. You see all the lentils are covered up. And then we're going to put a lid on it. This one we're going to have at least 3 whistles on high steam. That's I've cranked it to on high. And then we're going to do 2 whistles on low. And then leave it on the side to cool it down. And the next step would be tempering that.
So chef, you have me here peeling the cucumber, and now I'm going to grate it on a cheese grater. Can you just remind everyone what we're going to be doing with the grated cucumber here?
So since the skin is not, it's edible, but we don't need, the skin is pretty tough. So we don't need that skin in the mouth. This one we just need as an accompaniment. So we just use the flesh, and we don't need the water since we know the cucumber has a lot of water content. What we're going to do is we're going to salt it and squeeze out all the water. So we just get the cucumber flesh and the yogurt, and that's what we need.
Amazing. All right, well, let's start grating. Perfect. All that grated cucumber right there. Then we'll soak it in the cheesecloth, squeeze out all that excess juices in there. So I see the pot that you have here with the potatoes change colors a little bit. Is that because you added some of the turmeric in there?
I added some turmeric to it, so we need the final color of the dish is going to be a bit yellow.
Okay.
So we need a bit contrast of that. So and the turmeric needs to cook out a bit, so that there are no raw flavors of turmeric. And as you see, we can it's already been inside the potato. We just need the potato a little bit more tender, and then we're going to strain it out and roughly mash it.
Awesome. Perfect timing. A question about your pressure cooker here, because it actually gave me a bit of a jump scare there at first. If somebody doesn't have a pressure cooker at home, is there an alternative cooking item that they can use?
Nowadays you have so much technology going on. You can use Instapot. You can rather just boil it in a pot, or might as well sous it for 24 hours. Doesn't really matter. As long as this one is, I'm using it because of the time. The time is the main ingredient that we are looking for. This one saves a lot of time, so I would recommend this. And Instapot is good as well, and it has got different settings in there which you can manipulate as per your ingredients. Since this one is soaked, you can actually use Instapot, so that's a good thing too. And you can put your short ribs in there. You cut up, you can put short ribs, you can put lamb, you can put mutton, you can put beef, you can put chicken. It's just the time. It saves time and it's more energy efficient. So I would like to use this, but as we have things available, whatever is good.
Awesome.
Take some water out from the rice and add it to a teaspoon of salt, might be a little bit more. And here we have clarified butter, which is ghee. So it's basically you take out all the milk solids and the liquid that's left. This is your ghee. Even if you take a regular butter and you melt it down, take out the milk solids, this is what you end up with. So I'm gonna add maybe like a teaspoon of it. Give it a stir.
If they take the milk solids out of it, does that make it vegetarian in a sense?
It's kind of vegetarian, but the milk solid, what it helps you get the liquid which is used in cooking where the smoke point doesn't get affected.
Okay.
So especially you're cooking anything on high heat, if you add the butter, it will like froth up.
Okay.
But this one will not froth up, and you get a good clean taste of the butter itself.
Okay.
You don't get any milk solid with it.
So anything that you can use for butter, can you substitute that for ghee?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you need more fluffier rice, you can add a bit of milk to it, or you can add a bit of 35% cream to it, so it gets nicer and fluffier. And to make it more whiter, what we can do is we're going to add a squeeze of lemon juice at the very end, so the rice turns bright white in color, rather than being a little bit brownish because of the tempering and the spices. It still stays white. So once it comes to a boil, you're going to add a bit more water to this, squeeze the lemon juice, and then cover it up and leave it on a slow flame for at least 15 minutes. So you can say it's a peanut crumble or whatever. And then I have green chili here that we're going to split and just add it. So we don't need to take out the seeds off. That will give enough heat to the dish. We don't want it over spicy, but we want a kind of a heat to go with the food that we are actually having.
Amazing. So I see that you want me to add the coriander stem and the coriander leaf. Now I know a lot of people out there don't necessarily love coriander, but I don't think they're also very aware of how flavorful the coriander stem is. Do you maybe want to elaborate on how much of a difference it is from the leaf and the stem?
Leaf is mostly, I can use it for garnish, but the stem has more flavor. It has more depth that you get it from coriander. It's like eating a raw coriander seed. You get that much flavor from the stem itself. So Indian cooking, you never throw out the stems. You use the leaf and the stems as well. Especially if you're doing a green chutney, or you're doing a coriander chutney, you're doing any marinated meats with your coriander paste. I would recommend to use the stems and keep the leaf for final garnish, or might be like the whole sprig just for garnish. But the priority would be your stems.
Perfect.
So that's what we do here.
Awesome. All right, I'll get on this.
Now we have the potatoes sitting in the water for a bit. Chef Arnold is going to strain this out for us. And I'm going to open the pot with the pressure cooker lentil. And this is how it gets. So if you take with the spoon, you can see it's literally a mash. See how the lentils have just disintegrated. It also depends on how thick you want the consistency of the lentil. You can add a bit more water. You can add at least like 5 liters of water to this, so it cooks down. You can use it as a main dish. You can use it as a soup in winters, where you can cook lentils up, spice it up with whatever spices you have, or you get some of the spices in Indian stores. Make it as a soup. You can have it with your rice. You can have it with your paratha. You can have it with your naan. This can stay at least for a day, but if you're trying to keep it or use it after a day, I would recommend to put it in the ice cube trays and freeze it, and then take it out and use it as you want it. So that's, otherwise it's going to be way too gaseous for your tummy, and you might have digestion problems. So do not keep this for more than a day or so. That's why in traditional Indian houses, they take how much they want, like half a cup, make it and eat it and finish off the day, and then every day you make sure you make it fresh. So I'm going to squeeze some lemon in the rice. I'm going to give it a stir. I'm going to wait for this to come to a boil. Put it on a low flame and let it cook. Let's come to a simmer now. I'm going to put a lid on this and turn our flame to low. So now we're going to do the process for the spicy mashed potato. We're going to use half and half. So we're going to use half ghee and half oil. We use a bit of ghee. Once this melts, we need to use a bit of fat because the potatoes have no flavor. So in order to add more flavor to it, we need to add a bit of extra oil or butter, whichever you like. You can either substitute, if you are okay using butter, might as well use butter, but I would recommend oil and butter at the same time because it helps to control the smoke point. And a bit of mustard. So this is what I call a tempering. You add a mustard, you're going to wait till it crackles. Listen to the crackle, because if this one doesn't get cooked, it's going to leave a raw taste in your mouth. So it's better you wait for a bit and then let it crackle. The next thing we're going to add is split black gram, which is not washed. We want it raw. And we're going to use some fenugreek seeds. Even these ones, they help in digestion, which is really great. You see now this thing has started to crackle. You turn the heat, take off the heat. Then you're going to add some of this stuff to it. Let it cook. At the same time, you need to add a little bit of these. At this point, we're going to add 2 whole red chilies, a bit of hing, that's asafoetida, curry leaf, takes it to a different level. We'll add a bit of ginger garlic paste. You can take it off the heat, put it on heat as long as the tempering doesn't burn. And add a bit of dry fenugreek leaves, a bit of turmeric, just a touch, because we already have the turmeric in the potatoes. A bit of salt, and the potato mash. Then sauce it. At this point, you can add a bit of sugar on the side here, let it sit so it gets a bit of caramelization.
So from the moment you started cooking these potatoes, all the aromatics just lit up the room and my stomach started rumbling, so I needed to get a taste of this,
Sure.
if you don't mind. Wow. No joke, that is possibly one of the best baked potatoes I've ever tasted.
Thank you, Chef.
That is very good. And then the texture from the mustard that you have in there, it has a flavor, but it has also a little bit of crunch, which is really good. That is fantastic. I'm not even joking, that is really good. You gotta get this away from me before I eat the whole bowl. That's really good.
So the next dish we're going to do is the lentil that we already cooked. So this one has different names. You can call it tarka dal. Tarka basically means tempering, which is served at local restaurants. So we're going to try and attempt to do the same thing. Here we're going to add a bit of oil again. Okay. To get the cumin. A little bit of fenugreek seeds. A little bit of dry fenugreek leaves. Got the ginger garlic paste again a bit. We'll add the hing and a bit of water. Add a bit of salt, a bit of turmeric, a bit of red chili powder. We'll give this a mix. And then we're going to add some tomatoes and onions that Chef Anand has already chopped for us. Give this a stir. This is some of the curry leaf that I have already just broken down by hand. I'm going to add that to the dish. Add a bit of salt. So then as the tomatoes gets broken down, you want to take the back of the spoon and just try and mash it up. More spice to it however you want it. The red chili will just give you a nice color and a bit of spiciness, since we have not added any spice except the red chili powder. The red chili powder is again a Kashmiri chili powder, which is a different kind of chili that only gives color, and it's not spicy at all. You can get different other chilies which gives color and spice, but Kashmiri chili is only tend to give a bit of color. Again, as I said, you can add much more water to this, make it more liquidy if you want, or you can keep it thick as it is. I'm going to add a bit of water just to for the presentation. We're going to garnish this with some chopped coriander and lemon juice, and that is what we have. Tadka dal.
So I just pulled out the raita out of the fridge. It was in there for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to mix it up here now with the rubber spatula. So just a reminder, it's a grated cucumber with some yogurt, some toasted nuts, and green chili, and some coriander.
No.
All right, Chef Venky, you came here today. You cooked some amazing Indian food here. I wish everybody who's viewing this video could smell all the aromatics that we're going through here. It was unreal. And I got to try the lentils, the potatoes, the raita, and it was all mind-blowing. So you definitely did a fantastic job, and I think you represent India very well in your cooking. I can see that you have a lot of the patience, a lot of the creativity, and the finesse that goes behind every single ingredient and element. So thank you for being here again and for cooking this and for being a part of the Multicultural series. Of course, Chef Venky can be found through the Underground Flavor Group platform, but where else can we find you, Chef?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm always active looking for the food blogs, whatever new is happening around the world. And right now the world is going through so much crisis. Just want to lend my support and however I can cook, whether it's a charity or small functions or house cooking, I'm always in there. So yeah, please feel free to get in touch with me, and then I'm excited to be a part of Underground Flavor, and I really appreciate you calling me and doing this stuff. It's really amazing.
Of course, and again, it's my pleasure, and you can see you have an amazing talent behind you, so it's a pleasure to have you here for sure.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.